are there other Division perks that extend beyond equipment or accessories? Are there any like passive abilities?
Yeah, so the one important aspect of Divisions is the divisional training, and so that's where you start getting into the way that we've kind of reimagined how you create your classes. And part of that in Divisions is divisional training, which is unique to each division. That kind of progresses as you level your divisions, and it's a training that gives you passive abilities that are unique to that division. And each division has a set of those that kind of plays to the strengths of that division and the theming of that division history.
I love that calling in the bombing run, how it's guided into where you saw some enemies on the map, guided in here.
Oh, so is that the player controlling the direction of the bomb there?
Yep.
That's a neat way to do it. So, speaking of things falling from the sky, are we going to see supply drops as well? Are those going to be in there at all?
Well, we're not quite ready to go into
Okay.
supply drops yet at E3, but there'll be more for that coming soon in the beta.
I mean, how much is developing, obviously, one of the biggest franchises in the world, especially historically on consoles, just absolutely the top of the food chain. I mean, as you guys come in as developers and you're working with a franchise like this and going back to the World War II era, which is the roots, how much of it do you feel a lot of pressure to honor the old stuff or to develop more in the new directions?
For me, it's a little bit of both,
Pressure,
yes.
Yes.
Pressure, yes,
So
always.
your question is yes, pressure.
Always pressure. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a little bit of both. It's you want to pay homage to the history of the franchise, and but also, fans are always looking for the new cool thing, and we've got some really awesome stuff that we're bringing to it. So we want to have a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and have a marriage of those things.
I'm really looking forward to it because this will be the first Call of Duty World War II era game that I've played. I actually started at Modern Warfare.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, our company is we're known mainly as we're associated with the Halo franchise because of Red versus Blue. But our gaming division, we actually launched with Call of Duty. We had an achievement race in Modern Warfare because all the achievements were in campaign.
That's
and
right.
So me and one of our other guys, Jeff, we spent a weekend just racing through trying to unlock everything. It basically came down to the Mile High Club, which was that airplane level where you had to go through in like a minute 30, and it was just all muscle memory, but took like 20 hours to get. So, yeah, that's the Call of Duty franchise has a very special place in my heart, and I'm looking forward to playing in World War II.
I do want to note that we're on a different map now. It was I'm gonna butcher it.
Yep.
Point du Hoc?
Point du Hoc, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like I was sitting next to a French person for a moment.
So this is another good example of just kind of bringing the history into multiplayer gameplay. This was a key location for the Allies in the invasion of Normandy. So this was one of the it's kind of a cliff top, bunker and trench complex that was assaulted by the Army Rangers on D-Day, and so. It's been just really cool to be able to kind of create these environments that are true to that history that players can do battle in. So
when you're dealing obviously with real places and real events that happened and that are so iconic, how do you even begin the thought process of researching or approaching paying homage to these locations?
I mean, some of the first things that we do obviously is just a lot of research and reading up on the history of what happened. We get influence from a lot of different places, but definitely bringing the history of what actually happened at these places, and that definitely does help shape how these environments turn out. So we want to make sure that we are giving players a great gameplay experience, but also treating the history with respect and
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as we can.
For a real world conflict. It's one of the great, tragedies is that all these environments that you can use in a game like this are so gorgeous, but it's because this war was fought in these incredibly beautiful places, and it's like you can see the destruction that you guys have built into the maps here. It's one of the great tragedies of this particular war, but it's also in a way, it really kind of drives home the point of warfare and where this conflict takes place.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are we looking at a different map here?
Yeah, so this is one of the things we're super excited about that we're showing here at E3. This is War Mode, which is a brand new gameplay experience that we're bringing to Call of Duty for the first time. It's kind of narrative-driven, objective-based gameplay that players haven't seen before in Call of Duty. And our main goal here was that we wanted players to feel like you're really playing a World War II battle, right? So there's a primary mission objective, and everything that you do from the beginning of the match on is kind of driving towards that objective. And it's kind of the purest representation of World War II in multiplayer gameplay. It's
Got it.
Axis and allies, defenders and attackers, and
Like here, they were attempting to secure this house, it looks like. Is that the first part
Yeah,
of this objective?
defend the command post.
Yeah.
yeah, so we start by kind of capturing a forward operating center. Next, we move on to actually constructing a bridge. So you're doing all these things that, happened in World War II. They had to build and demolish bridges.
Right.
They had to escort armored divisions, escort tanks, and, you got the infantry and the armored unit kind of pushing forward together. And, we wanted to represent those things and let players, live out that fantasy in empty gameplay.
Yeah, it almost like is being able to play a war movie, is what it sounds like. Yeah.
And one of the things too about war mode, I think that just to show kind of the dedication to this mode is a lot of our modes, they all exist in a map, right? We'll put domination or TDM in the same space, but war mode is all custom tailored because it really needs that for this asymmetrical objective-based gameplay. So we feel like that's, we're just proud of that fact that these things are very tailored to make sure you have the best experience possible.
Well, as a gamer, I appreciate that because I've never really been super passionate about, Slayer matches where you just get in and try to kill everybody, or even team Slayer matches, or whatever it's called, like free for all. I always prefer something that's objective based, and this is it seems like the marriage of the two best aspects of online gaming to me.
Yeah, I'm never one who's very good at the Slayer aspect.
I'm also not good at it. Yeah.
Like, I can't shoot very well. So if there's other ways I can contribute to team success, I'm happy to do whatever I can in that respect.
Definitely.
We have some very specific questions regarding very specific weapons
I'm sure you're prepared for this.
on social media. I understand if you can't answer it, but I feel I'm just impressed by the question, so I have to ask it. Who is this? John T. Real User's asking on Twitter, is there stationary heavy guns, 20mm flat cannons, 88s?
Yes to stationary mounted guns. You can see that in one of the maps that we have that we're showing at E3. I think I'll probably leave it at that for now.
Okay, there you go.
We'll save some surprises for down the road.
So there you go. I asked your question, John T. Didn't want him to think I was ignoring it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, again, that goes back to what I was talking about, like the passion people have and like the depth of knowledge everyone has about those weapons, not only from video games, but from film and, from history class. And just, it was such a huge event in the world to go over.
Definitely.
Yeah, the same way with our studio, and we're fortunate to be able to work with a couple really amazing military historians, and with all our research, and that's down to little things like belt buckles and buttons and things where we're like, and then we're like, no, let's get it right. And we know that people are looking very carefully, and the passion's there. It's within our studio, and we know it's within our fans as well.
And as we announced on our stream today, multiplayer. So that'll be a huge
multiplayer.
huge new era for the Call of Duty franchise.
I'm super excited to get into this game and to pick it up later this year. I'm really, really happy to see this return.
I almost feel lucky that I get to play a Call of Duty World War II experience for the first time, like this year. That's crazy. Or I shouldn't say this year. When is the game coming out?
Game comes out November 3rd.
November 3rd. So
This
we'll be
year.
playing by the end of this year.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us. We appreciate
John.
you taking the
Thank you.
time.
Thank
We're
you,
going to kick
guys.
it back over to Mika and Anthony over there on the side.
Saw, dude.
When I think of anything I can do to help my
Yeah,
I think about as I'm hiding in the corner of every map.
as I do too
Yeah,
as well.
I think about just getting on my mic and telling people, turn on voice chat.
Yeah.
Turn on voice chat.
Well,
And then when they do, I go, proud of you.
you're doing so great, sweetie. You shoot those bastards.
It's just positive reinforcement
And
is
they're
my
like,
best way to contribute.
Where are you? Are you helping? You're just doing so great.
I believe in you.
Win for us.
I need XP.
I need to level up.
Thank you.
Love you. So what I'm hearing is we should never play Call of Duty with other people.
Esports, that's me.
Hit me
Anthony
up,
Esports is what they call me.
Mika at esports.com is my contact
Mika,
Yeah.
we have been having you just run around like crazy all day.
because I'm intrepid field reporter Mika Burton.
That's what I hear.
Yes.
You guys have been going to YouTube at E3.com.
Yes.
And voting on all kinds of things all day.
Live at
at
E3.
E3. Live at
That one.
E3.com.
Live 8.3. What?
What? That's confusing. You're confusing the message now.
There was math involved, and I'm scared.
I don't speak Leet, and I don't do well at Call of Duty. So,
as we've heard.
So if you go to live@e3.com, we are putting up various polls throughout the day. One of them in the early morning was, yo, where do we send Amika Burton?
Hopefully it's to Paris, but this time it wasn't to Paris. It was to the Bethesda booth.
Equally good.
Equally as good.
Let's check out the tour of Bethesda Land.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing our coverage here at E3.
Live at E3?
Want to remind everyone, if you have any questions for us, you can tweet us at hashtag YouTube E3 or ask us questions in YouTube chat. We're lucky enough right now to be joined by Mike Chapman, design director at Rare.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you know, we were just talking about this in an earlier segment. What's the last big Rare title that came out?
The last big,
I don't
let's talk before Sea of Thieves.
Yes, before Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, we did Connect Sports Rivals, and then we did the Connect Sports series. It's
Right.
actually I think it's just, in terms of sales, Connect Sports is like the second biggest Xbox IP of all time.
Is that true?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Combined sales, if you add all the IP sales together.
Yeah, some of those motion games early did very, very well. Like Wii Sports it was bundled, but it's the best-selling video game title of all time, which I find to be fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, they're great games to kind of pull out and play with your friends. They're just they're great things to keep going back to. You know, they sell well at Christmas.
Well,
Well, Rare's a studio that just has an incredible history and
really varied kind of like IPs, and we've done some great stuff.
Speaking of great games to play with your friends, Sea of Thieves.
Nice tee up.
Got it.
I have not had a chance to get hands on that. We're lucky enough right now to be joined by Mike Chapman, design director at Rare.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having